Hey guys, I'm sure some of you are wondering what are the next catalysts for this stock market to go higher. And first off, before I get into that, I wanted to talk about the SPY or the S&P 500 as well as this Hindenburg Omen, because a lot of people are talking about this, so I wanted to address it. So first off, you guys know as soon as the S&P 500 crossed above that resistance level, the top of that red, tall, daily candle from 3 Fridays ago. You guys know I posted in the community about this and did videos on this. As soon as it cleared that, closed above, I said bulls are back in control, and we made some money over the last few weeks. Obviously, you have to be in the right names. That's why I obviously become a member, okay? Because I have the AI Infrastructure Millionaire Maker portfolio. And right now, the large caps have been crushing it, guys. These are the ones, especially the ones that already had earnings. They beat and raised, right? If you want to see momentum in a stock or have conviction, it's going to keep going up. You want to make sure they have solid earnings, guys. Guidance for the next quarter and in the full year is very important. That's the most important. Always remember that. So anyways, so the stock market has been going up. We've seen green daily candles since, okay, we crossed above that resistance level, the top of that tall red candle, that control bar I was telling you about 3 weeks ago, and on actually higher volume along the way, which is crazy because normally when stocks go higher, they eventually lose their volume, okay, which is an indicator, we're getting ready to possibly roll over or just take a breather. So of course that can happen at any point, and maybe it happens here in the beginning of November just because there's more short interest climbing into names. And also this Hindenburg Omen, which if you don't know about this is just an indicator in the past that has more times than not signaled, a dip in the market. So again, over the long term, obviously stocks climb a wall of worry, and this isn't automatically triggering right away, but like 3 to 6 months from when, this Hindenburg Omen, whenever this triggers, which is when you have a certain amount of stocks hitting their 52-week high as well as their 52-week low at the same time, that has signaled, there's other indicators in there as well, but that has signaled where we have a dip at some point in the near future. Now, this kind of lines up, that 6-month time frame lines up for me, because remember I was telling you about Meta, and if they continue on their trajectory of how much they're spending right now, by 6 months from now, so their late April earnings report, they will likely have to slow down their CapEx spending or also go into negative free cash flow, which I doubt the company will want to do that, okay, because shareholders wouldn't like that. And so that could be where there is a short-term top if we start seeing CapEx spending, which is capital expenditures, right, on AI slow down from the mega cap companies. So Meta, if they do that, and then some of these other names like Apple, Amazon, right, they start slowing down their spend, then that could be where a top is, where we could have a bigger correction, because obviously if they're slowing down their spending, that means less is going to NVIDIA. And obviously with the law of large numbers with NVIDIA, it's going to be harder and harder to show them, 100% plus growth, right, with revenue and earnings per share. Obviously, you can't keep that growth up forever, right? A company matures. And again, that's where possibly we can get a dip or a bigger correction with NVIDIA, because where NVIDIA goes, right, the rest of the market goes, as we know, because they're the AI bellwether. And so AI stocks, semiconductor stocks, because they have big weightings in the indexes, that will dictate where other stocks go. So just remember that, guys. Always keep an eye on what NVIDIA is doing, because that's a good indicator of what the rest of the stock market's doing a lot of times. Obviously, it helps when Apple's doing well, Amazon, right, all the other mega caps, because they have big weightings in the indexes also, okay? But anyways, the Hindenburg Omen, I don't think it's a reason to go out and sell everything right away, guys, okay? And remember, this is an AI boom going on. Last time this triggered actually was September of 2024, and stocks were green, a week later, 2 weeks, a month, like all the way for a while. So it did not work out that time, betting against the market. And as we know, over the long term, it's not a good idea to bet against the market, because stocks do climb a wall of worry, and short interest can be high for a while, but eventually they have to cover their shorts, by getting out of their short positions. They have to buy the stock, which causes a short squeeze higher. And so at some point, that's what happens. But it can put a lid on stocks, though, for a little bit. So at the beginning of this month, November, maybe there's a little pressure because of more short interest going into some names, plus with this Hindenburg Omen may scare some people out. Plus there's profit taking going on right now. So beginning of November, we may see a little of that, guys, okay? But then some catalysts that could help this market is if there's a deal made with China to start selling more chips of NVIDIA, right? AMD, a lot of these semiconductor names into China, that's going to be a huge catalyst to keep this market going higher. And then if NVIDIA, with their earnings on November 19th, say that demand is so strong, we can't keep up with it, right? That's going to be huge for this stock rally to continue into year end, guys. So those are two catalysts I want to let you know about, okay? But again, you don't need to try to be a hero right now. We got to get closer. And obviously, if there's more news with the China trade deal, we get some more stuff figured out. If Xi and Trump keep talking, that's going to be huge, guys. All right. So just wanted to let you know, have a great rest of your Sunday.